Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to No BS Ted. This is Ryan from No Border Sports. And I, of course, am Ted from Ted Talks Ball. We come to you every Tuesday at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. And happy Victory Tuesday, the second Tuesday in a row we've gotten to say that. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm excited, bro. I wish we would have slapped him a little harder, but a win's a win.
A win is a win. So, speaking of, slapping them a little bit harder, there's a lot of talk that, that Purdy played a perfect game because he had a perfect passer rating. How do you feel about that?
I don't think he would say he had a perfect game.
He didn't say he did.
Yeah.
Neither him nor Kyle did.
So he had a perfect passer rating. That doesn't mean he had a perfect game, right? Because obviously he missed 4 passes. Not necessarily saying they were all his fault. Sometimes they drop them, but to say that it was perfect. Now he did a great freaking job. Now, can I nitpick anything that he did and said that he needed to be better than that? No. He did a great job.
Yeah, and I'll even say that one of his incompletions, there was one to Kittle, was actually a defensive pass interference that was uncalled. So instead of 21 for 25, he could have been 21 for 24 if that had gotten called as a penalty and not a pass attempt. So I could have looked even better if the refs had pulled their heads out of there, you know what. But
there is a lot of freaking bad calls lately. Dude, there's just the Seahawks got screwed on one in the end zone, which led to the Rams points, which essentially kind of cost them the game. So like officiating has been bad this year.
No doubt about it. So are we crying for the Seahawks then, or just in general lamenting bad rep?
No, that was just the last penalty that I saw that was like egregious. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that it changed the outcome of a game, I thought. You know what I mean? This stuff needs to happen. Like, remember, who was it? One guy was totally down, and all of a sudden he's down on the ground. They rip the ball up out of his hands, and then on the play, they call it a fumble because who was it? There was some big name. It might have. Oh, it was the guy from the defensive end from the Raiders.
Max Crosby.
Yes, Max Crosby. It was Max Crosby. He was like, "Come on, what the fuck? I don't get my fumble. This is bullshit." And then you look at it, he's totally on the ground. There's no way he can be off the ground when the ball comes ripping out. And because it was called a fumble on the field, they can't reverse it because there's not enough evidence to prove that it wasn't because it's in the middle of a pile. So, like, this is the type of stuff we got to get that nipped in the butt. We can't have this shit not come like Super Bowl time, but at the same time, the Seahawks just lost a game to the division rival with a shitty penalty, right? That could have implements in the playoffs, right? So
implications, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. And I know they like to have the great squad of refs during the playoffs, the cream of the crop and whatnot, right? Which is understandable. But if a team can't get there because of all the shitty fucking refs making bad calls, then what's the sense of having the good ones in the playoffs?
That's a good point. That's a good point for sure. Real quick, we got Damian Lee in the house. He says, don't forget.
Oh, you can talk over it.
He says, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for both of these good content creators. Thanks, Damian. Appreciate it. Got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold in the house.
Another great content creator you should be subscribed to.
Saying, hey, guys.
What up?
Make sure you check out Jess. Are you doing a show tomorrow night, Jess? It's a Getaway Wednesday, but they normally do every Wednesday at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern with her, Maddie B, Bex, and the great Ty Alston, who I got to meet on Sunday. He was there in the gold mine with me and John Chapman, a buddy of John Chapman's, and about 36 Brits from the UK faithful, including Lee Galland, Paul Hope, Nick Ludlam.
I think Nick's the other guy I think I really enjoy.
Yeah, Nick's on a lot, and I'm blanking on somebody too.
Him and Paul are really chummy, and they're really like they got a good energy together. It's
Yeah,
a fucking good show.
absolutely.
When I
And
catch it,
Neil Graham was there, and the first thing I did when I met him, I'm like, "Hey Neil, why'd you block me?" You know me. I'm like,
Neil Graham.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, it must have been a mistake." So we got that
Who was that?
figured out. We're both following each
Neil
other
Graham.
again. So
You're talking about
Neil Graham, he's a member of the 405th League. He's been on my show at least once or twice.
Oh,
good guy.
thought you were talking.
I guess he's got a bit of a temper on him though. So he can get a little bit feisty from time to time. But hey, that's more of a good thing, I'd say.
I got a temper too. I don't just go around blocking people.
Yeah, you do have a temper, Ryan. That's true.
I do.
Well, I don't know. It's not called a block, but it's what is it called when? Yeah, I'll leave it alone. E. Kim in the house saying, "Hey fellas, what's up, E. Kim?
What up, E. Kim?
Thanks for joining. We got the great Randy Daytona in the house. He said we need AI that made our schedule to call the penalties. Yeah, we need something, Randy. I'll tell you, it's crazy. Randy was the one who predicted the Browns, Vikings, and Bengals losses. He did go one further and predict that we'd lose to the Jags, but hey, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. That's for sure. Good percentage there. Jess is saying, yep, we are. So they are going live tomorrow. Make sure you check them out. Yeah, it's fun to meet Ty. He's a great guy. I knew he was already, but it's funny when you meet some of these people in real life. It's just like, oh yeah, I feel like I already know you. It's like after streaming with people a bunch of times, you really get to know them on here. It's most people are pretty close to what they're.
You can already tell Ty is a sweetheart of a guy. You know what I mean? Yeah,
hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I can already tell on the shows. Like he's got a quick wit, and he's smart, and he's knowledgeable. Like to be really funny, you kind of gotta know a little bit about a lot of things, because then you can use your comedy a little bit more, and he knows how to do that.
Come hang out on Thanksgiving Eve. There you go. I may be able to. We'll see. I definitely won't be streaming tomorrow. Aaron reached out to me and let me know that he's got COVID bad. So
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So First and Ted will not be happening. Prayers up to Aaron. Speedy recovery, my friend. That's much more important than any show, obviously.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And the funny thing is we were already going to have to do it earlier because my wife booked family photos for we have our newborn, so we did pregnancy photos before the birth, and now we're doing the family photos after. So we were already going to have to move it up to an earlier time. So it's probably a sign. Brian Culp says smash the like button, everybody. Welcome, Brian. Brian says Neil is a great guy. Absolutely, it was great to meet him in person, and all the other the Faithful UK, a great group of folks traveling all the way across the ocean. 5,000 plus miles to get here for the game. Huge effort. One guy even came in from Singapore. There was this giant Scottish guy. He must have been like 6'8", 450.
Oh, wow.
Yes, huge. He made me look like a shrimp.
He'd make me look like a shrimp.
Yeah.
I'm 6'4", probably 3. I'm probably about 3.
Yeah, I'm 6'6.5" same as Purdy, but except for 310 part 315. I gotta get on the scale. I haven't weighed myself recently, but I did lose a little weight recently, so hopefully that's been continuing.
I got sick and I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, that can help sometimes. Coughing hardens up the abs a little bit. It's a good thing.
Oh no.
Tammy Lee says they're just saying hi. We got Bashar from 49er Minded in the house saying, yo.
Make sure to subscribe to Bashar's channel and Brian Culp's channel. Great content creators out there. And Daniel Barry.
There you go. He's saying howdy. And Bryant Riot. There you go. Is that like a quiet riot? Come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your boys. Isn't that song? We'll get wild, wild, wild. Anyway, I probably shouldn't be singing. It's always bad when I start singing. But I was a pretty big Quiet Riot fan for a minute there. And Twisted Sister. Maybe that was Twisted Sister. I don't know. It was one of those two. Anywho, so thoughts on the Bucks game? I mean, you said we could have slapped them more. Why don't you go first, Ryan? I've already talked about it a little bit yesterday with Pedro. Love to get your thoughts on the game. Like, what could have been better? What was pretty good?
What could have been better? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa offsides twice. BA holding negates big CMC play. Bad pass protection call led to Brock's second sack. First half they kind of forgot how to tackle. Fred Bosa in the backfield on the first drive. Let's see.
Randy says, and they sing "I Want a Brock."
I want a Brock. Right. I seen Trent give up on third down in the first drive. It seemed like he blocked his guy and didn't realize that Purdy was under duress, and he kind of just gave up on the play, thinking that he didn't need to do anything anymore. And that got Brock sacked for the first sack.
Brutal. Yeah.
Let's see. Hufanga gave up a big play in the first on 2nd and 19. Not protecting the seam in cover 2. So he sees that there's a guy coming in his area. So he immediately breaks off to get where he's supposed to be in cover 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of going up the middle of the field, right? So in cover 2, wide receivers want to go in the seam to get in between the two safeties. So Hufanga just runs back to his spot where he's supposed to be covering, essentially, giving the receiver an open look, or giving the quarterback an open look to the receiver, and then he has to come back to tackle. So that was, I know he's injured, but that was something that I saw and I wanted to.
It's okay. We can still call out areas where he maybe left something on the table. Nothing wrong with constructive criticism. It's for when he gets back. More than likely won't be till next season, but
let's see.
Nonetheless,
that was that page.
Oh boy, how many pages you got, man?
I got a front side and a back side. I've just got to see if there's other negative ones over here. Special teams didn't look so special. We had a punt return for 49 yards. Everybody was out of position.
Oh, I missed that one. I went to the bathroom. It was like they were driving down. We got the stop. It was like 6 minutes to go or 4 minutes to go. And I was like, oh, well, we'll just run the ball, run out the clock, and get a first down or two, and that'll be the game. And got back, and they were right where they were when I left, except for they had the ball again. I was like, holy moly, what happened? Like, why is there no time off the clock? And why are they back right here about knocking on the door of our end zone again?
And then Farrell on Tampa, the play before Tampa's first touchdown, Farrell got too far upfield and inside, and he couldn't make the play because he was too far out of position. And Fred couldn't wrap up, and Farrell had to save the touchdown on that play. So he fucked up once, but at least he was able to make it. That was the one where Fred slipped off. I think that was why I was saying Fred needed to learn how to tackle again.
I'll tell you what.
I forgot Debo was there until I didn't.
Yeah, I hear you. I'll tell you what ticked me off was what I was just talking about there. Kyle not calling any run plays on that drive before the big punt return to choose some clock. And then Kyle going for it on 4th and 1 when we could have punted and, given them 30, 40, 50 more yards of field to have to cover to score a TD. I thought I didn't agree with going for it where he did on the field there. I understood the logic, which is like, never let the Bucks touch the ball again. And that would have been nice, but I didn't think it was worth the risk of kind of, and I won't say sure. Well, I guess maybe now that we're talking about it in this conversation, it starts to make a little more sense because they had this huge punt return. Then all of a sudden, maybe Kyle wasn't too eager to punt again to that returner after he just scorched us for the 40-plus yard return. So maybe it does make a little more sense.
Yeah. And also, like, shouldn't have Mitch kind of got that one out of there a little bit more? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Shouldn't we kind of gotten that out a little more?
No doubt about it.
So that was the negative stuff.
Randy Daytona says Trent is in the winter of his career. Same old sorry ass special teams.
There's other than the punt coverage team, really, which shit the bed obviously on that one play. Other than the punt coverage team, special teams doesn't do fucking anything really. Obviously, point afters, field goals, all that stuff, really, but they're not doing anything up and beyond the Call of Duty. I don't think. Like the punt team is executing on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, and everybody else is kind of just like holding their dicks in the wind.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Randy, same on special teams. We saw that. Frank Tomotion in the house. Welcome, FTO. Says Ted fantasy football question: Devonta Smith for Debo. In other words, you're trading Devonta Smith away to get Debo. The one thing I'll say about Debo that I'm pretty consistent about is, Brandon Ayuk obviously had a huge game Sunday, and he's had some huge games this year. But I feel like when push comes to shove against a really tough defense, Debo's the go-to guy. And so I still believe that. And I still believe that Debo will have some big games. And, and just the fact that he's a wide back, that he gets carries and more touches behind the line of scrimmage, I think that will bode well for him against tougher defenses that we may face down the stretch, including Seahawks twice, Eagles and Ravens, maybe even Commanders. I don't know. I haven't been following their defense enough to know. But so I don't know. What do you think? Would you trade Devonta Smith for Debo?
Not really. Because they're not the same type of guy. Debo can get you those extra yards when other people can't. He's like a Kittle wide receiver. You know what I mean? Kittle's going to get them extra yards even when it's ugly. Debo want to get those yards even when it's ugly. I don't see that out of what's his name again? Devontae Smith. I don't see that out of him. I watched last night. He's very talented. He's very talented. Don't get me wrong. He would be nasty on our team, just like any other very capable wide receiver up in the top, in the top talks would be. I'd rather have our Debo. He knows our style. He gets our game. Him and Trent are the guys with the boombox, right?
Right.
How the fuck are we giving up on Debo? You're not giving up on Debo.
There you go. Randy Daytona says Cleveland game loss. He called that. I'm not sure what else you're referring to there, Randy. He says Mitch's money. DVO has more trade value. I don't know who DVO is. Is that Debo? I think maybe that's a voice to text thing. Debo got changed to DVO by voice to text, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Get more than Debo. There you go. Joe Stevens in the house saying, let's go Hawks on Hawks week. We got a Seahawks creator. He's normally a pretty good guy. I don't know about this week. This week he's the enemy.
He's normally a pretty good guy. This week he's an asshole and a piece of shit, though.
Dick.
Joking, Joe.
Yeah. Asshole.
Joe and I have our show tomorrow, so make sure to tune into that.
There you go. Make sure you do. Good stuff.
On his channel.
So yeah, I mean, and then all right, as far as the defense goes, I feel like, yeah, we got 4 sacks, but it seemed like there were a lot of plays where there wasn't any pressure on Baker, or at least not in time to keep him from doing what he wanted to do. It just seemed like we were maybe playing off ball again more. And
they have a better offensive line. And we were
I mean, they have Tristan Wirfs, who's great, and they have Cody Mock, who I know people really liked coming out of North Dakota State. I don't know how he is as an NFL, but I just remember he had no teeth and a nasty attitude, and people really liked him coming out of NDSU.
Their backup center, their starting center went down, and so that was their backup center that was playing, and he was doing a great fucking job. I wouldn't say he was a beast out there, but you couldn't tell he was a fucking backup. You know what I mean? So they got a better line than what we saw last week. So that's kind of what you got to think about. It's until they really get in a zone and they figure out how to really work well together with all the, because this is the first year we've had this lineup together. This is the third game we've had this lineup together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So give it a little bit of time. By the playoffs, it should be freaking nasty. If we are there, we should be there. But
yeah, it's starting to look good. I was starting to question a little bit last week, before the Jags game, but definitely feeling pretty good. It's pretty hard to imagine 7 teams from the NFC that could keep us out.
Yeah.
Especially with no Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. I know Josh Dobbs is doing well, but
shout out to Dobbs.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dobbs. Doing a great job, young man.
I mean, look at this guy. Twice in 1 year, a team said, we're going to trade you to a team that will use you, and let you have a chance. And doesn't always happen for everybody. So good for him, and good for, the Browns for letting him go, and good for the Cards for letting him go, doing the right thing. It doesn't always happen. Maybe it happens less often than most of the time it doesn't happen, I would say. 49er Jeff and Huff saying, what's up, fellows? What's up, 49er Jeff? Welcome.
That's how it should be, though. Really, I think if you want to have the right type of environment, if somebody's really unhappy or you're squandering their talent, you should want to find something for them, because everybody looks around the league and they're like, well, if I go to, let's say it's the Niners, right? If I go to the Niners and I'm not happy with it, at least I've got a way out, because it seems like they're more than happy to figure things out for players, because that gives other players, more an incentive to go there. Hey, like you don't get out of some of these franchises without, clawing your way out, because once they got you and they don't give a fuck about you. So, you know what I mean? Like it just helps your team get better talent wanting to come there. You know what I mean? They got a better, Dave
McNiner in the house saying hi to everyone. What's up?
What up, David McNiner?
Also, it's good to mention that we're streaming on both channels. So if you're on my channel, make sure you pop over to No Borders. Give Ryan a like and subscribe. If you're on Ryan's channel, pop over to TED Talks Ball. Give me a like and subscribe. If you're on a browser, easy enough. Open up two tabs, and make sure you mute one. You can give us double the watch hours. We really appreciate it, and thanks in advance for your help.
If you're subscribed already to one of us, please go subscribe to David McNiner there. He has got a great channel starting, and he would really appreciate that. That would make his day. And he's got great content. Bryant Culp and him have a weekly show. So he has also a show with Ty Alston, a gentleman you were just talking about a little bit ago, and Aaron, who you have a show with and we're talking about. So make sure to subscribe to David McNiner.
And then after you subscribe to me, join the channel and become an official TED Talks Ball member. Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. Oh, man. Go, Ryan. So what else we got? As far as the game goes, yes, the defense, I felt like, but the D overall played really well. Like they kept doing their job. And Kyle kept, putting us in harm's way with the not running the ball, with the not punting, and it's just some things went wrong. I mean, Purdy did get sacked 4 times, so that wasn't ideal. But overall, it was a good game. I mean, we won by 13 points. I was off on my score prediction. I said 24-17, so I was 3 too low for us and 3 too high for the Bucks. So.
Yeah, I can't remember what my prediction was. I think it was 31. 34. I can't remember, but I was wrong.
It's not easy being right on those things.
It is very hard. The only times I'm really ever right is when I am on Mariah's channel and I put my score down there, because that's how I've won a lot of cards. My baseball or my football cards. That's how I've won most of them, is by predicting the score correctly. That's the only time I really do it.
All you really have to do, Ryan, is just agree with me all the time. You'll be right a lot. So
people on Twitter would hate that.
They already hate me anyway. So what are you gonna do? I've been keeping a low profile on there though. Ever since my anniversary on the 20th of October, I was like, I'm gonna stay off and not let that negativity bleed through to my date night with my wife. And then I was like, oh, it felt kind of good. Slowed it down. Also, I've been getting into the RC stuff with my son. So, mostly,
cars.
Yeah, our cars. We've been doing some 1/16 scale buggies. I got him a brushed one for $60. They look just like a brushless one that I got for $120.
If you want to get into a man's game, get into the airplanes.
There you go. Yeah.
My grandpa used to make them from scratch.
No way.
Oh yeah. He'd buy the plans. And he'd just go out and buy balsa wood and he'd start putting it together. He would make his own fiberglass cowling for the engine cowls.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's cool.
So he made a Sopwith Camel, which is
it's the World War I biplane.
Yep. And he made one of those, and he got a vinyl, because you put vinyl on the wings. I think it's vinyl. Pretty sure it's vinyl.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cloth. Yeah.
He got a vinyl wrap that looked like and felt like canvas. So he put that all over it, and then he took glue and he made stitch marks all over the wings where it would have been stitched together.
That's hardcore.
He's got 3 airplanes sitting in a museum because they're so perfect that it's cheaper than having the real plane. They just bought his model.
That's really cool. So for people who don't know what the Sopwith Camel is, I was saying it's a World War I biplane, but a more famous reference that people might have heard of is that's the type of plane that the Red Baron shot a lot of them down. And that was a German triplane.
Yep.
So it had 3 wings and painted red, and he was a terror in the skies. And so anyway.
The more wing surface, the better turning you have. You don't want to get in a turning fight with a tri-wing. Just a little bit of things.
There you go.
Watch too many documentaries.
No doubt. Yeah, so these things are fun. And his little one broke. We were out Monday. We went to a BMX park nearby my house, because you can jump a bike or a skateboard off of it. You can jump these RC cars off of it, it turns out, as long as they're built strong enough, they won't just fall apart from jumping. And his wheel fell off, and we lost the screw, and I couldn't figure. None of the screws I had would fit or hold it on. And then I was going to take one of the nicer axles out of my car that had actual lug nuts on the end. I had planned to do this all along and upgrade his, but then I couldn't get his old CVD joint out, and I was just like, I got on the horn with Amazon. I was just like, hey, can I just return this thing for a refund? And they're like, sure. It's like, great. So I got the cash back from that. I'm going to get him one of mine, the nicer brushless version, because that was the thing. We started out, we were having lots of fun doing it. And then as I souped mine up and got mine really, tricked out, he was like, oh, mine's no good. And it's like, actually, it's really good for a 3-year-old to have a 20-mile-an-hour car. But, once you've seen what the other ones can, the brushless, and then you upgrade the battery, there's 7.4 volt. You go to 11.1, and it goes from 25 to 40 miles an hour. And then they're like tire shredding, fire breathing little monsters after that. It's a lot of fun.
So just think of a 9-year-old Ryan with a double leather stitch glove on, starting his grandpa's remote controlled airplanes.
Oh yeah, with a gas motor.
With a gas motor.
Unsafe. What could go wrong?
We did stuff differently back then. We just a little bit different.
Oh yeah, those things are so loud when they fire up too.
Oh my god!
Did you use a glow plug to get it started? To get the spark plug heated up.
Sometimes you have to. In the beginning, you always had to have the little. I can't remember what they called it, but you had to have a little thing to stick in the engine.
Motor.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a motor. They've got the motors that kind of stick on the front of the propeller, and that spins it for you, so you don't have to do it with your hand.
Yeah, the
But
electric ones.
it was like something to help prime the engine so it would start. And once it started going, you'd take that off. It was like a mechanical baster almost, but it had no liquid in it as far as I remember. But yeah, that's how you had to start them back in the day, and then it got better.
They got better. Randy Daytona trying to pull us back to football here. He says Shaq Leonard, formerly known as Darius Leonard,
Yes,
of the Indianapolis Colts, surprise release today. You know who told me about it? My buddy, the Eagles fan, JC. And he's thinking the Eagles are going to get him. I'm like, boo, no. Jesus. We don't want the Eagles to get Shaq Leonard. He's one of the better inside linebackers in the NFL.
I could see them totally doing that.
Oh, God, please no.
But why did the Colts release him?
Probably to save money, I guess. I mean, he has had back problems. You know, he missed most of last season with bad back.
So you think they were just cutting his loss so he didn't get hurt while he was playing? They just told him, don't come in the building. We'll figure it out.
Maybe.
But if that's the case, why wouldn't they?
I don't know that they've been mathematically eliminated, though, have they?
What?
Have they been mathematically eliminated?
No, but what I'm saying is I don't know why you would, a couple of weeks after the trade deadline, all of a sudden just release somebody.
Oh, right. Not trade them ahead of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because look, to just release somebody now, you would have to be thinking about it previously, or there was some fucked up shit that just happened, and you know, we just haven't heard it hit the media right now, and they were like, fuck this, we're out, we're done. You know what I mean? But I think they would have announced a statement of what he did first that caused the release. So I don't know. It just seems weird. Maybe they tried to shop him and nobody was trying to give a 7th rounder for him. So they said, fuck it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Because everybody is like, you know, kind of like salivating at the mouth right now about him being on the market. It doesn't make sense. There's something wrong here. I think there's a whammy underneath this one.
All right. I hope so if the Eagles get him.
He just totally just tanks their whole locker room culture.
Yeah. Cancer. Bad apple. Spoil the lot. We got Jason Niner Smash Massey of Niners Faithful Radio in the house. Thank you, local faithful.
They've got a great show too. Make sure to tune in during halftime. Jason goes live and he tells you about everything that's been going on, his thoughts. Make sure to subscribe.
Baron von Splatterday. That's not his real name, is it? It can't be. CBD joints. No, it's CVD with a like V as in Victor.
Yeah.
Something. I think it's. I don't know what CVD stands for. Let me look it up. Continuously variable directional.
Now I got to look up the Red Baron's name because that's totally not it.
Constant velocity joint, so that even as your tire goes up and down, the axle still spins at the same velocity.
I know this.
It's important for all-wheel drive vehicles, off-road vehicles. And like I said, if you're doing these jumps and stuff.
So once I seen the first name, I remembered it. It's Manfred von Richthofen.
That sounds right to me.
Yes.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Baron von Splatterday. Randy.
Well, he did go splatter. All the great aces in the First World War died.
Shot down. Well, yeah, they didn't have parachutes.
Well, no. What happened was they all of them in some form of way went up flying when they shouldn't have. So like a couple of one of our best aces went up, and he had like something, he got hit in the head or something, like grazed or something like that, and he had bandages all in his head. That was the last time he was ever seen because he got gunned down because he didn't have his 100% wits about him. And same thing with everybody else. I think
should have turned in his wings.
No, you just stay grounded. You stay grounded.
Well, that's what. Yeah, when you turn in your wings, you stay grounded. Yeah.
You don't turn in your wings is like it's saying I'm done.
Oh, for goods. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Temporarily
wings,
turned in his wings.
That's you just saying I'm grounded. I'm grounding myself.
McNiner says Shaq Leonard has to go through waivers. Eagles are far down the list. That's very true. And Randy had a comment about that too. He said, too bad we blow our waiver position or priority on scrubs. I mean, I don't know. Well, whatever happened with Jason Verrett? Last I heard, he was like, it would be nice to sign him, but I don't know. We got Bebop in the house saying bang bang Niner gang. What's up, Bebop? Coming to us from Bethlehem, PA.
Bebop stuck with me all last night through the Monday Night Football game. Shout out to him.
Dang.
We were streaming to each other. Just me and him kicking it.
Right on. That's cool.
Appreciate you, Bebop.
Joe Stevens says Tebow greater than Purdy, greater than Young. Wow. Tebow. I don't even think that deserves a comment. I'm just gonna leave it speechless. Whammy. Oh, here we go. Shots fired. My trash can greater than Geno Smith. Bash says CBD. LOL. Not much LOLing with CBD though. It's kind of boring, you know.
That's well.
You need the THC for the LOL.
Yes, but also it's hard to laugh when you're in a lot of pain. So I guess
CBD helps with that.
Yes, it does.
Everybody's just saying hi. I'm gonna skip that.
My ex's mom was like totally against all that, and I was like, "Look, just check this out. Read up on it." And then all of a sudden, she was like, "Hey, maybe that CBD isn't bad." And I'm like, "The fuck I tell you." What?
Sometimes they have to hear it from someone else, Ryan. Especially when you're the youngin, and they're used to telling you what to do. It can be hard to reverse the chain of command sometimes. The waiver wire goes through ASC teams first, then ASC teams pass on a player, then it goes to NFC teams through the waiver wire order. What? That's not true. I thought waiver wire was strictly inverse of your record, regardless of your conference. Has anybody ever heard that the ASC teams get the first? I never heard of that, Bash. I need to see a reference on that, but maybe it's true. Maybe I'm wrong. I could swear there's no conference designation on the waiver wire. It's strictly record. We basically have no shot on anyone released from the AFC.
Oh, so he's saying that it goes, if it's an AFC team that's releasing them, that it goes through the AFC first. So if we were to release a player, he's saying that it would go through the NFC first, and then the AFC would get a chance at it.
Never heard that before. Someone confirm that or deny. I say deny.
I don't like that. I think if it was like that, I think it should just be like essentially like the shittiest teams should get the first. And then it goes all the way down to the best teams.
There's no way that the Chiefs should have a shot at it before the Panthers. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. Jake Bobo is elite from Bryant Cope, but he also says Sam Ariel. So same guy. He also likes Moody, which I actually like Moody too.
Well, how do you know Sam Darnold? How do you know Sam Darnold isn't elite? We haven't seen him.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm not even.
You're gonna bust a vessel.
I'm not even gonna talk about it.
Bryant, that one was for you.
Thanksgiving is a farce, but we make the best of it by stuffing our faces, not feeding others.
Randy, you make a great point there, sir.
No, if you feed your family, you're feeding others.
Yeah, but he's talking about there's people on the street that ain't got no food.
Yeah. When it's an AFC player, that's waived. I'm still calling bull on that, Bash. Prove it. Show me an article.
We got James in the house.
Across the pond.
With Kyle being reluctant to start rookies, is he going to make sure Wilkes does some hand holding with Brown taking Huff's position? I don't know. I think he's probably just gonna stay the fuck out of it, kind of. Just the reason being is like it's the defense. So I think when it comes that, he's more worried about what he's got in front of him. I don't think he's gonna be keeping tabs on what. Like Kyle, I think he helps like figure out the final roster even for the defense, right? I'm sure he's got, final say on that type of stuff. But I think as the season goes on, I think it's up to Wilkes' discretion for the most part. Look why Oliver was in there for so long. I think Kyle was just letting Wilkes do his thing. He was like, look, dude, you got to have to figure this out. You need to pull that guy. Like, I'm not going to tell you to do it because Steve Wilkes could be a head coach's own, right? So Kyle's not trying to piss Steve Wilkes off by micromanaging him or making him think like he's micromanaging him. So he's letting him, he's letting him fuck up a little bit. And then he reins it fucking in, right? Obviously there was a reining in, right? Whether anybody said it or not, seems like everything's just fucking cupcakes and butterflies over in there, and there's no problems. Everything's great. And we only went on a 3-game winning streak when we need to win now, right? Or a 3-game losing streak when we need to win now. But nothing's wrong. We're not mad at each other. We're just figuring out we got to get back to basics, the fundamentals. Something was said. Things happen. He reeled somebody in, but I don't think he's on top of them making those decisions like that because it'll just piss him off and he won't coach to his best ability because he'll be always just trying to blame Kyle for something. It's
interesting. I mean, I think we'll see against the Seahawks if we see more of George Odom, then maybe Kyle had something to do with it. But I expect we'll see a lot of Tig, a.k.a. Jair Brown, a.k.a. our first draft pick in the 2023 draft, number 87 overall. I think we'll see a lot, and I think we'll see the Seahawks target him a lot, and hopefully he'll give them a reason not to.
Jair Brown, he gave up like his first play, he gave up a big play, pretty much led to a touchdown. But later on, he saved 2 touchdown passes, and he got an interception. He was handling business all over that fucking field last night. Not last night, but Sunday. He was handling business all over the place.
Well, he did get torched too, but yeah, he did.
That was the first play. That was his first play out there in the field. He got torched.
Randy says he also disagrees with Bash, no matter what. Wow, that's harsh. Randy.
So
fighting words.
What was I just going to say? We were talking about Jair Brown. So Jair Brown was Gibson's backup, and Odom is Hufunga's backup. But Jair Brown came in for Hufunga. And to me, that just states that Jair Brown is trending up already. And they were like, look, George, yeah, you're going to back up Gibson now because we got Jair Brown. You know what I mean? Like, we want to see what this guy could do in our defense. This is a big question, too. So, if we got a Jair Brown and maybe we can get Gibson for another year, or maybe we can draft a guy, but
like draft
Hufunga, like if we're going to keep a Chase Young, are we going to keep a Hufunga? Because you can't keep both of them and a Brandon. So we want to get a Brandon Ayuk and either probably keep a Chase Young or keep a Hufunga. Okay. That's essentially who we might have money for. Supposedly what I heard, Jason Hurley, make sure to check him out on Twitter, 49ers Cap, check him out. But with the money we can roll over now, I think there's going to be a decision. And I think Hufunga kind of getting hurt, I think that might be the answer it'd be the end of it, end of the answer, essentially, because he can't play the rest of the season like his hair's on fire and have a great season like Chase Young can. And if you get Chase Young having a great year, it's going to be hard to say, you know what, we need to stick with Hufanga when you're getting so much production out of Chase Young. And we have not seen a lot of production out of Hufanga this year, have we?
Not a ton. He's definitely not playing like he did last year. That's for sure.
No. So get ready for that talk. Just saying.
Randy, oh yeah, I forgot Purdy threw a perfect game. That's elite as F. Purdy's played well. He played very well. Brown will be great, but be ready for mistakes. Yeah, I think so too. Randy said Ambry got toasted for 2 TDs. Jason said, I think Brown was the go-to backup for both Gip and Huff. Interesting. And it doesn't show up on a depth chart because they have to list somebody different. That could be true.
Well, it's a spot. You don't just go like these two, that one in between, and then that another one underneath it. You just, I guess that call would be kind of just known between the people in the coaching staff and and the players. That's just, you know what I mean? It's not something that would be represented really in a depth chart, how it goes.
Randy thinks we still need CB help. I mean, I wanted one at the trade deadline, Randy. I said all along I thought we should go all in. But no, they wouldn't listen. I like Chase Young though, so
I think that's I don't know who it is who put the squash on that. Might have been Kyle. It might have been Steve Wilkes going, no, we got this. It's probably Kyle.
Do you think Kyle looked at our D and realized it was Oliver's where he would attack on the field with the injuries and lack of talent? He let Oliver stay on the field for so long, or was it a Wilkes call? I think it was Wilkes because he's a Wilkes guy. Wilkes brought him in. Wilkes got him on the 53-man roster. I'm so glad we haven't seen much of him the last couple of games. Isaiah Oliver, that is.
I think that could be a thing, though, James. Because that's how, if I was an offensive guru, that's how I would look at my defense. And I would tell my defensive coordinator, hey, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. Not throwing it in his face, but this is what I would do. You know what I mean? So be ready for it. If you know that's what they're going to do, then figure out how to switch it up afterwards, to combat that. So you can, because when people make adjustments, if you make the right correction immediately after they burn you, then you can actually end up burning them if you plan correctly, because they're thinking they got the nanny and they get confident and complacency kills. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all if you can make those right adjustments in time. So that's why I'm saying, like, Kyle, I think, like, he's got final say on this stuff. And when people are asking him about this shit, he's got to nip it in the butt, because I don't think he wants to talk about it much. You know what I mean? So I think it did come from him, I feel, personally.
House divided. Here we go. There's a ton of talk about using 3 safeties set this season. The third would have been Brown. Absolutely. I agree with that. Change it sooner if it's Oliver. But Oliver was the top slot CB after the Dallas game. Yeah, he was all season until the Jags game.
If we wanted to go 3 safeties, we needed to have Jimmy Ward.
Rudy Music says Burford, Jimmy Ward would be great. I definitely miss him.
You know what I'm saying? Because then he can play safety and nickel at the same time. That would be a perfect 3 wide receiver set, or a 3 safety set.
Rudy Music in the house says Burford probably will be out this Thursday. I could see that. I could see us if Banks is back, then I could see us putting Feliciano, moving him over from left guard to right guard. I know he's played both guards, center, and one tackle position. So he's played 4 out of the 5 offensive line positions. So I know he's played some right guard. And Feliciano's played well, and Burford hasn't. So I could see Feliciano replacing Burford, or knowing what happened last year, I could see Feliciano and Burford platooning as another option too. So either one of those would not surprise me one little bit. Good call there, Rudy. Real quick, while Ryan's away, maybe it's a good time for me.
I'm here.
Oh, you're there.
I'm just sitting
Right.
down. I'm not in front of my camera right now, so I just turned it off so you're not staring at the ceiling.
Well, real quick, while your camera's off, it's a good time for me to do a quick commercial break.
Yeah.
I'm sponsored by TTG. That's the little up thing in the upper left of the overlay there. It's the Travelstead Group. They're a retail and hospitality logistics company. They do transportation and warehousing for brick and mortar. They do FFE, which is fixed furniture and equipment. They do OSE, which is operating supplies and equipment. New store openings, rollouts, relocations, decommissions, from the first mile to the final mile and everywhere in between. Travelstead has you covered. Let them know how they can help you by air, ocean, or land. And they do closed loop solutions for retail and hospitality. Nick and Henry are the go-to guys there. They're great fellas. They have 100% US-based support. These operations are complex. There's always fine-tuning, if not snafus. It's good to know when you pick up the phone for support, you'll be talking to people here in the States that understand your business, not someone in an overseas call room who has no clue what the heck you do. So check out their website. It's in the description of the show, my YouTube About page, my Twitter bio, it's on Insta and Facebook. If you follow me there, click the link, check out the video. It's very informative and good, well done video. And just make sure you tell them Ted sent you. So thanks in advance, Ryan, and to our audience for letting me pay the bills. It really helps. So what else we got? We got James Durnall saying turkeys and Seahawks. Going to be a lot of birds this week. I sure hope so.
Oh, please, let's burn these birds. Sorry, Joe.
He's the enemy this week, so F you, Joe.
He said, I said, are you going to go down? He's like, no, I'm not going to go down there. I said, why? He says, because I don't want to get in a fight. I said, what? Really? What are you going to fight? He's like, bro, I'm not trying to fight nobody, but it seems like, what do you say? Seahawks fans or Niners fans, Raiders fans, and San Diego fans. He said, all those 3 fan groups, they always try to start fights with me. He's like, you know what I mean? He's like, look, like I love you guys. I'm talking about me, you, all the content creators as far as 49ers fans, like everybody, you guys in the chat, you know what I mean? He loves all you guys. He just fans on the street, I guess, gun for Joe. And which is weird because Joe's just a real nice guy. You know what I mean? Like he's not intimidating to me, but I guess he could be to other people, I guess. But like once you talk to him, you know that he's just fucking having a blast. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, he said he wasn't going down there.
Interesting. Riddy says that Burford injured it today, I guess. Yeah, I just looked it up. David Lombardi reported it, that Burford has a knee and missed practice. So that's no bueno. Or maybe it's a cover, like you said, like, quote unquote injured.
This would be the day that you would figure it out, though, for the most part.
Right, because then they travel tomorrow.
Well, but also it's like yesterday was their rest day.
Right.
So you would figure out this news, unless, like MRIs and stuff like that need to be done. You would figure out this news today, even if they knew about it yesterday, because they're not going to make like a special tweet about it, because it's part of housekeeping that they'll talk about in the press conference or let people know today.
Sure. Makes sense. James Journal says, are we struggling to set the edge, or is it just me?
At times, he's got a point. Like I was talking about earlier, Farrell. Look at Farrell could have made the play on the ball if he had just not got upfield so much and not gotten so inside, because by the time he figured out what the hell was going on, he couldn't even knock the blocker off course. He just had to pretty much run by him and then turn around and chase. So there was definitely some times.
Bash says David Corona should go to the game. Is he a good luck charm? Was he there the Thursday night game when Brock won last year on his second ever start? Second.
I don't think so. I don't know if David Corona gets to many games.
Riddy says we got to get traditional win on this Thanksgiving with momentum going into Philly. Yeah. It's going to be a tough game.
I just want to eat a dead bird on their field.
There you go. I was saying yesterday that I thought it'd be a pretty close game, and that I thought it might be the refs that jam us if we lose. Because we've seen that with the Seahawks.
Do we know anything about Geno yet?
I don't know a thing. I know that he hurt his elbow. He left the game, and then he came back into the game, right, and helped them get into field goal range.
He came back in the game. He was essentially like Brock Purdy in the NFC Championship.
Oh,
he came back in the game because Drew Lock blows, like down to the root. You know what I mean? Like he gets every last bit.
Hey now. Hey, yo, this is a family show.
Hey, yo, this is a family show. Geno will make it back to play for the 49ers. That's what it said a day ago.
Yeah, I figure if he came back in. But I didn't realize it was like a Purdy NFC Championship situation. But clearly he didn't completely tear his UCL in his elbow.
No. He got messed up. Which is like, you're going to ask a man on a short week who just got injured by Aaron Donald coming at him to come up against our defense.
It's a tall order.
It's a tall order. Now, their offensive line is all right. I don't want to get people thinking that they're necessarily great, but the Seahawks have really invested a lot of choice premium picks of theirs in that line. So they're kind of like the young version of like what the Seahawks are hoping of being a dream team. So they're not perfect, but they are also pass blocking oriented. They're not run blocking oriented.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Randy says, Ted, you sound like a rooster when you laugh. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that one before. Bash says, remember the red rooster? I remember when I was little, I had like they called it a machine gun laugh. It's like then I got older and it's slowed down a little. Like everything, when you get old, it all slows down. That Drew Lock interception was classic when he came in. I was like, damn. I wish I had saw it.
I think he got like two plays off before he threw that interception. I think
I was making my way out of Levi's to try and get to my mom's 80th birthday on time, which I did a pretty good job of. Randy says the gobbledygook.
The gobbledygook.
WWF gimmicks. Randy says Bash, Niners #1. Everybody's liking it. Just wondering how long does turf toe last? I'm hoping to see Banks back sooner rather than later. It can last a long, long time. because
Yes.
basically it's like your toe gets like bent completely backwards. And
No. It's like it's being
it
ripped
tears the
apart.
tendon.
Like it feels like your big toe is being ripped to the side off your foot.
Oh, okay. I thought it was hyperextended backward towards your shin.
Well, it might be in certain circumstances, but I always had it to where it felt like my toe is being ripped off the foot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it sucked.
Sounds like it. But
I had to run.
the
I had to
answer
run.
is it could be long time, it could be short time. Patrick Willis, it was career ending. So maybe that's a different foot issue with Patrick. But I swear it was turf toe that
They're probably making sure it's 100% before they put him back on the field because it'll just linger. It'll just linger. So, and that's why. I used to have to run with my toes balled up like a fist. That was the only way to run and not cry.
that sounds painful in and of itself.
You look, if you don't get to play many football games in your life, okay? You're not gonna let some stupid bullshit turf toe fuck your shit off. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what ringworm is?
I do.
Okay, so I was a wrestler. I got ringworm. I cut that off my body and then scraped it with a tack to make it look like I fell off my bike. Okay? You're not going to stop me from wrestling. You're not going to stop me from playing football. I had my VC3 and my VC4 dislocated. I went to practice for a week. The night of the match, the guy who fell on it the first time, knocking my vertebrae out of place, falls on it again. I go to the trainer. He tells me your stuff's out of whack. I go, okay. He calls up my dad and says, I need to take him to a chiropractor, reset his neck. My dad just says, no, he's not a doctor. And I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about? Just let me get my neck put back in, man. So I wrestle a guy from Seahawk that night. He gets me in head and arm, sets my neck back in place by the time I hit the mat. I was like fighting off my back for about a minute and a half, trying not to get pinned. It was you do what you got to do, man. You do what you got to do.
I love it. That's dedication. No keeping Ryan out of the game. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. So what else we got? I mean, do we want to talk about Seahawks matchups? Do we want to talk about other NFL news? Eagles won last night.
Let's see. Where's my Seahawks stats? There we are.
Or should I say the Chiefs gifted the Eagles with the win?
Oh, that was a hell of a game. Like, so you want to talk about elite quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, look at the elite quarterback last night in Mahomes. He didn't really do a lot of things that were elite throughout the whole game. He did a couple things that were elite. Like that first touchdown pass, I think it was. He did like this little layup thing. It was amazing. That's not a Brock Purdy move. It's not. But you know what can be elite with Brock Purdy is those gimme passes, or not the gimme passes, those scripted passes that we do. If he can just get those down perfectly, he can end up being an elite quarterback just by default in this system. Because if you can essentially figure out how far down the field is, keep throwing that ball, knowing you need a certain amount of clearance to get over the linebackers, right?
Yeah.
Because that's it. That's all you need to know. And you could perfect that over and over and over and over and over again. And that could make him elite if he just practices those, because the scheme is always going to be there, because our scheme is dependent on what they're giving us. Our whole scheme, we've got something for everything they throw at us, right? Once they start locking us down doing something else, we switch the scheme up to something else, tax them in a different way. They can't do that. They've got to pull out something. By the time that goes, we can switch our thing up. So to me, yeah, that's my thoughts.
There you go. Yeah, I see some of that. I mean, I would just also say, well, real quick, let me get to this. Randy says Mahomes not elite this season.
Right.
I
He
mean,
does. He isn't. He isn't. Don't fucking try and look.
don't wait. Did he drop the pass or did Valdez Scantling drop the pass?
I don't care about that.
Oh,
Right. There's lots of other things. He was in a lot of other third and longs. How many times they punt last night? Don't talk to me about Valdez Scantling in one fucking catch. Patrick Mahomes is an elite
pretty
quarterback.
huge drop, man. I mean, people are saying they're going to cut him.
Look, whatever. Go be all butthurt over that shit. Cool. You guys played like shit the whole fucking game.
Well, also was kind of pouring ass rain too.
Both those teams played like shit last night for what they are capable of. And even if they were going to play a good game together, it would look a lot better than that. So he is not elite this year. He is an elite quarterback. He is. He will probably be an elite quarterback next year too. But he is not an elite quarterback this year. And Kelsey is not an elite tight end right now.
Well, that's because Taylor Swift wasn't there.
I don't even know if it's Taylor Swift. I don't. He's getting up there in years.
He is. He's old.
He's getting up there in years. Yeah.
Oh, here comes my Doge. Hey, I'm on.
He's mixing it in with all the big boys. I don't think he's elite this year. I don't think Mahomes is elite either. Josh Allen's not elite this year. They are elite quarterbacks, and they can be any given day. But so far, the production we've seen from them is not them, and it's over half the way through the season. So you're going to have to do a lot of miraculous shit by the end of the season to kind of sway that look. Brock Purdy, even with 3 games that did not look good, he's still just carving defenses up. He went 21 for 25. I don't care about the passer rating, really. The perfect passer rating, because obviously perfect is everything. You got 100% completions. You know what I mean? Like that's perfect to me. I get they get the rating. I'm not saying that you shouldn't like give him his roses for it neither. I'm just saying that to me, it's one thing. Do it regularly, and that's the shit I'm talking about. You know what I mean? If you can do it regularly, that's when you know you're good.
No doubt. I'm with you. Yeah, I tried to grab my dog to put him on camera, but he's very camera shy. And he knows, like, right when I get close to doing it, he like books out of here.
So my buddy had a dog who, anytime you lifted up your phone, he would leave the room.
He knew.
Like, I don't want you to take no damn pictures of me.
It's like, pay me first, buddy. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of him.
He didn't like the sound it made because it would make a snapping sound, and he didn't like it.
Interesting.
So it was back in the day a little bit.
Yeah, I'll say. Well, no, I think they still do if you don't mute it. I think that's their default to do that.
I almost think they should have to have the sound.
Oh, here's a picture that are.
Oh, there we go. There's some weird dudes out there. I don't want having the capability to not take the sound off their camera thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Pervy.
Yeah.
Weirdo guy, weird uncle, whatever, fill in the blank.
Yeah. There's definitely some people I don't want to have that capability.
Brady says there was an article today about Travis Kelce. Why? Because he fumbled twice yesterday?
No, they're talking about essentially kind of the same thing I was talking about now that he's got a billionaire girlfriend and whatnot.
He's just going to be a sugar mama? Sugar mama?
No, he's going to be a stay-at-home dad.
Oh, they're having kids. Wow, I didn't realize.
Well, they will. If they get married, I'm telling you, if they get married, she is definitely having some kids. I'm telling you, if you
If she's
can't,
having kids, like she's not gonna be touring pregnant, is she? She's gonna pull. Oh, I guess
I bet you she would.
she did the halftime
Hey,
show pregnant. I guess maybe. Never mind. Hey, you never know.
she is a mover and a freaking shaker. I'm not a big fan of hers, like her music. I'm a
Uh-huh.
big fan of her as a person because she gets
Yeah.
shit done, bro. So I would not put it past her out there 9 months pregnant on a tour. Not really though, but at least some of it, like I could see her doing. She does all sorts of things. She's very talented and she's very driven. So
Well, Randy, how many QBs have done it over 25 passes? Because Purdy only had 24, so now I only count it over 25.
but this gives good context too.
Uh,
That gives good context, Randy. Thank you.
nah, it's a big feat. No one's done it as a 49er since Steve Young.
Well,
Joe
just saying
Montana
that
only did it once or twice.
he's in a group with only 14 other guys. That's some shit.
It
Thank you
is.
for calling me out on that one.
So are our weapons too, though. So,
Well, but I think in this system, if he is elite, we should see that. We should probably see that a couple times.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't. If he's the guy that everybody says he is, and I think he could be. I'm not thinking he's going to be a world beater, but I think he's very comparable. You know what I mean? Or not comp. I think he's very capable of taking us to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I think he's very capable of that. I really like the guy as far as his demeanor and kind of his heart, the dog in him. I love the dog in that man. But yeah.
You know what I say with all the people who say he's elite? I'll say that Purdy's elite when he either wins with less or wins it all.
Could you see a path to Brock Purdy being a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. If he keeps this up, if he keeps
this up, no matter what scheme talk or what system quarterback
Kurt Warner
talk
did
is.
it. Kurt Warner did it, and he had elite weapons. So yeah, you got to win a ring, and you got to sustain some winning, and maybe get back to another Super Bowl or two. You don't have to necessarily win them, but you got to get back. And yeah, I could see him in the Hall of Fame for sure. Riddy says Chiefs will get knocked out first round of the playoffs. You heard it on TED Talk first, but this is no BS, Ted. TED Talk's my show. This is our joint show. But yes, you heard it first from Riddy. I don't think so, but they definitely are beatable, no doubt about it. Randy says she'll dump his ass. Taylor never dumps anyone though. That's like all her songs are about guys who dumped her.
No.
Charles will just be one more in the long list.
No, I got a feeling this one's gonna stick.
Ryan's hearing wedding bells.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the other thing too. Travis is uncle to some adorable little girls. Travis is.
Oh, so they're big. They're big Tay Swift fans.
No, I think Travis wants to settle down and have himself some kids finally.
Oh, wait, 64 have done it in history. That's counting less than 20 passes. So 14 over 20, 50 more under 20 passes.
Yeah.
Done it in history. Okay. But none was a seventh rounder in his second year.
That's why everybody was, when people were getting down on him for having those 3 bad games, I was like, come on, pump the brakes, guys. Like I was willing to have Trey Lance play this year in the, in the training camp and whatnot. Right. So, and I already knew there was going to be bumps and bruises. Yeah. So I already built that into the schedule. So calm down on Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, Purdy he's been in the league less than Trey Lance. He's got more starting time, but he'd been in the league less than Trey Lance. And if I'm still saying give Trey Lance a chance, I have to give Purdy a chance more than I expected to give Trey. You know what I mean?
I get it, Ryan. But for me, it's like the thing that took away a lot of the leeway for me with Purdy was the real deal talk and then saying, oh, we're to win now to develop Trey Lance. Then we got to win now. But yeah, I'm with you. It makes sense what you're saying. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying for me, the reason why I'm a little bit less hands off or like, okay, unlimited time or whatever, I feel like it's really got to happen this year, ideally. And everyone had weapons. Yeah, they all had weapons, Randy, but nobody had weapons like ours. And even Kurt Warner had weapons kind of like ours.
Kurt Warner definitely had weapons like ours.
But he didn't have a defense like ours. So
right. So he had to lean on his offense more. So he had to get more out of his offense than we do out of ours.
Yep. Greatest show on turf. Brock is only the third person in history to do something. Dan Patrick talked about it. There we go.
What thing is it?
Like Lonnie and Bert. For those of you who don't know what Randy's talking about, you youngsters, he's talking about Lonnie Anderson and Burt Reynolds. Lonnie was a blonde bombshell, and obviously Burt Reynolds was
every woman.
Smokey and the Bandit was the big one.
All the women wanted to get themselves some of that hairy chest and that mustache.
Yeah, no doubt. He drove the Firebird Trans Am.
Yep, with the cowboy hat, shirt unbuttoned down to like the second button from the bottom, so you could see the gold chain in his hairy chest.
Yeah. So I think Burt Reynolds was a much bigger star than Travis Kelce, but Taylor Swift is a much bigger star than Lonnie Anderson too. So
yeah,
no, it's kind of, there's some similarities there. I could see that's a pretty good one.
I would also say that,
but they're also in the same industry. They're both movie stars compared to.
I would say she's more talented than him. Well, talking
Taylor
like
Swift's pretty talented. I mean,
yeah,
her freaking stadium tour. They're selling seats for $3, $4, $5, $6 a pop. I mean, that's talent.
She was dating a guy, a music producer, did like EDM music, and she made a track for him, and she thought they were going to make a song together, and he ended up selling it to somebody else, and she was like, "Ooh, we're done."
Oh, so she did break up with someone.
Yeah, but see, like, so she can do more than one thing. You know what I mean? Like she can do a lot of things musically, and that's why, like, I don't like her music, but I see how she moves, and she's talented. You know what I mean? She knows. Look at her songs. Look at her songs. They're not my songs for me, but she's got all these women belting these songs out. She's speaking directly to them. She knows how to make songs that speak directly to people. She's got them. She's got them.
I just remembered another Burt Reynolds movie. It's not quite as fun as.
Oh wait, is it Gator?
Oh, with the Gator. That reminds me, son. I need to call your mother. Oh, hi, buddy.
Who we got?
We got Ford just popped in. You say hi.
Hi.
You say go Niners.
Go Niners.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I think. Give me a sec here. All right.
You're good. Let's see. What else we got? So the Seahawks had more total yards than the Rams did and still lost the game by 1 point. They had 291 yards. They only had 68 rushing yards, which their number one back did get injured, Kenneth Walker the third. I don't know if he's going to be back this week. Yeah. Let's see. Charbonnet had 15 carries for 47 yards with 33.1 a carry. Kenneth Walker
good back,
had 4
good
carries.
back out of UCLA.
Dude, Charbonnet, I text Joe 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting there watching his game, and I'm like, man, Charbonnet would be nasty in our system, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, not
he
talking
can run
shit.
and he can catch.
Well, not just that. He's fast in no space. So like you'll see like some of these Seahawks plays, and it just looks like a mess. And you're like, where is anybody? And then you just see him come out the other end. There's like barely any daylight, but he finds it and he's quick through there, which, you know, if you're got to make all these like miraculous cuts and this and that to get through all these swaying arms trying to tackle you, grab you, like the faster you can get through it, the more successful you can be. And he would be great. Like he doesn't get big wide open holes and he makes the most of it.
There you go. I was going to say I remembered another great, Burt Reynolds movie, but not quite as fun as Smokey and the Bandit. Very quotable line from Deliverance.
You got a bird in mouth.
Yeah. Squeal like a pig. Yeah. That was a brutal scene for sure. There was a lot of brutal scenes in that movie. That was a disturbing movie in a lot of ways.
Some of that was filmed up here.
I bet. It looks like Pacific Northwest.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's beautiful country up here. In the summer, oh my God.
It is. When the sun shines, there's
like you don't know the life of just,
places on earth.
You know, sitting it's like 90 something degrees, so it feels like it's 106, right? Because the humidity. But you're in a river or a creek or somewhere and just sitting there just chilling. You got sun everywhere, and there's still trees that are green, and the grass is still green. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Green grass is I went back down to California to help my mom take care of my grandma, and I remember I was driving from my old house to go to my grandma's house, and I was stopped at the road about to take a right like I always had done as a kid, and I looked across, I saw that same damn brown hill, and I knew I would never move back to California. I was like, I want my grass to be green.
It's beautiful up there. We were up there for Mother's Day, if you remember.
Yeah.
Except for the freaking heat wave. Every day it was over 90. That's too hot for up there because they're not built for that kind of heat. But it was gorgeous. It was very beautiful.
Just get yourself a sprinkler.
We had a lovely lunch over in Kirkland, and
didn't have a Mac and Jack.
There's a nice place on the water there in Kirkland, and everybody was riding on inflatable paddle boards. It was like the big thing. Randy's saying hi to Ford. Yeah, that's my son's name, Ford. He says Seahawks are about to get steamrolled. I don't think so, but I mean, if Kenneth Walker's out, that could be big. Even as good as Charbonnet is, I don't think you can count on him as a bell cow back, to carry the load.
I don't know if they use them differently, but I feel like they do. I feel like they both have their places and how they want to attack certain people. And I feel if you just take out Kenneth Walker, then because Kenneth Walker kind of a bruiser. You know what I mean? He's kind of a bruiser.
Yeah.
He's Marshawn-esque. You know what I mean? Not like he's trying to make a statement. Marshawn was trying to leave a mark on you and make your mom stutter after he left. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to leave his mark on you. These guys, they're just trying to get the job done. They're not trying to prove much of. Marshawn Lynch was out there trying to take people's souls.
As they should.
Right. Right. You should be playing every down trying to take another man's soul out there.
And they obviously have a very good secondary with Devin Witherspoon, with Tariq Woolen, with Quandre Diggs, with Jamal Adams. Those are four really good DBs, no doubt about it. Randy said, Ted, are you Swedish like the Muppet Chef?
Birdie.
No, I am not. My lineage is English, German, and French. Kind of boring.
I remember the first time I seen that guy. I look at my mom and I go, like all confused, right? And I was like, Mom, what's wrong with that guy? And she starts laughing and she just goes, oh, honey, he's just Swedish.
Oh, that's funny. Ned Beatty, yes, he would play the character in Deliverance, who one you don't want to be on that guy on that trip. That's all I can say for sure.
Is that like Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction?
Worse. Well, I don't know. They were both pretty bad. They
Yeah,
were
but at
both
least
pretty-
Marcellus Wallace got to shoot the other guy in the crotch with the shotgun afterwards.
That's true. But
Yeah.
Marcellus Wallace had to wear a gag ball. I don't know. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I'm sure Marcellus Wallace got some pleasure when he had the pipe hitting people come over and
Yeah, people.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I know you're smart not to say it. I'm with you.
You remember the scene with
Get
Quentin
medieval
Tarantino?
on his ass. Yeah,
You
that
remember?
was
Yeah.
great.
You remember the scene with Quentin Tarantino when he's using the N-word? I was 11 years old when I saw that, right? And I'm going,
you can't say that.
Right. And I'm like, you can't say that. And then I see that he's got a wife. His wife is black. And I'm like, you out of everybody should know you shouldn't say that word. Like, I'm just like, I totally don't understand how he can't.
Called shock value, and you were shocked. It worked.
Yes.
It worked.
11 years old. I'm like, oh, he should know.
That's
He
probably
should
my
know.
favorite soundtrack of all time. Pulp Fiction.
It is my favorite soundtrack of all time.
Yeah, that is a great one. So cool that you got your son to say "Go Niners." You know what? He said it like a year and a half ago when he came on with me and Dion. He popped on when I was out in my dining room. I didn't have like a closed off room where it was so easy to, have privacy. And my very first ever stream, he came on and like, I remember saying to Dion, I think he knows about 9 words, and about his 9th word was "Go Niners." I was like, yes, son, good boy. You can stay another year.
I guess we'll feed you another week.
That was awesome. He's a cute little bugger for sure. I wouldn't step foot outside in Cali. It's crazy out there. Yeah, I am. I was just up in San Francisco today, and it was still looking pretty good from the Biden visit. They cleaned it up a lot for the Biden APAC visit with Xi Jinping from China, their prime minister. They met at Filoli, which is a beautiful
dictator
estate in Woodside, not far from where I live. Beautiful. They have gorgeous flowers, and it's just, a great time to go is in the spring and March and April. Crazy flowers at Filoli. They even did a parody of it on Saturday Night Live on Saturday. I saw the beginning of it. I didn't hear it because my wife had her headphones in while she was watching it, but looked pretty funny. But I went up for lunch today because when I was at the 49ers Faithful UK in the gold mine on Sunday, Paul Hope was telling me that he didn't fly out until late tonight. I was like, oh, well, if you want to hang out on Tuesday, I could probably drive up and grab lunch or something. Because I always am trying to get back to the city to go to my favorite food spots, because some of them you just can't get down here on the peninsula. And then somehow Gina was saying, oh, I wish I had met Paul. And I was like, oh, hey, Gina, I told him I might go up for lunch. You want to do lunch with us? And she goes, yeah, sure. So I picked up Gina in South City. We drove up and grabbed Paul. He was near Kezar. And then we went to one of my favorite burger spots in the marina called Coswell's. They both really liked it. So we might have to start a TED Talks Grub channel soon.
You didn't go to Val's?
I've been flirting with it. What's Val's? I don't even know what Val's is.
You don't know about Val's?
No.
It's off. Is it Milpitas off of Crow Canyon Road?
Oh, okay. It's okay. South Bay.
Yeah. You'll see pictures of old Giants players and A's players. Maybe the guy might have died. It might have closed. Last time I was there, they were still only taking cash.
I mean, and we weren't really going for, if we were going for like, memorabilia type, we picked them up right in front of Kezar Pub, which is a huge Niners bar. But I was like, no, we got to go for the food, not for the ambiance. We're going because this burger, they make it with pork fat in it. And so they sort of cheat. And then you can also add bacon. And then they have these killer onion strings. And for a while, they were gone. And I still was taking them there because it's that good even without them. And then I saw them on the menu. I'm like, oh, my God, you got the onion strings. Yes. So it was awesome. Awesome burger. But I'll have to check out Val's. I'll see if it's still in action.
They got the mama, the papa, and the baby, the mama, and the papa burger.
That reminds me of A&W. Used to have Mama Burger and Papa Burger.
They got good shakes there last time I was there. It was good. I used to love going there. Oh, it was so fucking good.
Chase is no small addition. He's a game changer. So far, he's been really good. No doubt about it.
That's why I'm saying I think it might spell curtains for Hufanga.
Bash wants to know the best pizza in Cali. I actually had some good food at Levi's when I was there on Sunday. They had Blue Line pizza. I got the thin crust pepperoni. It was pretty good. But I was so starving. I had only had some candy on my way there, and they turned us loose about 11 before I had to be back at 12:30. And I ended up eating 3 things there, all $15 a pop. That Blue Line thin crust pepperoni pizza is outstanding. Probably the best value of the 3. They also in the breezeway that goes along Tasman, the last booth heading towards San Jose South, there was a taco stand there, and I got 3 al pastor tacos. They were very, very good.
You know about tortas?
No, they were tacos.
No, but do you know about tortas?
Oh yeah, they were just Mexican sandwiches essentially, right? Yeah, they're
not just a Mexican sandwich.
It's tacos in a roll.
No,
essentially.
That's fucking blasphemy.
Well, they put al pastor, they put carnitas, they put chicken, they put
love in tortas. They put love in tortas. Okay,
I'm all about food made with love. That's for sure.
Yes, put some respect on the torta name.
So I had the tacos first, then I found the pizza, and I was feeling pretty good. And then I was walking by, and I saw bulgogi cheesesteak, and I'm like, oh come on, Korean beef cheesesteak, I gotta try that. And so it was good. It wasn't bad, but compared to the other 2, like I would say, go tacos, the al pastor tacos, or the Blue Line pepperoni thin crust were definitely better in my opinion. For what it's worth, California Pizza Kitchen, Randy. I mean, I guess if you like barbecue chicken pizza, with cilantro and stuff on it, I don't know. They're interesting. They're fine. I don't know. I'm more like a pepperoni, sausage, bacon, onion, mushroom, garlic.
Nope.
Lots of meat and lots of like pungent vegetables.
I actually kind of like mod pizza because I can make it my way.
Yeah. Modify
it. I like a little bit of white sauce and then a little bit of pesto.
Pesto's bomb.
Probably doing chicken, bacon, maybe a little bit of ham in there. We're gonna put
bacon.
Huh?
The best I had was in Astoria, Oregon. No shit, huh? For those who don't know, that's on the very northeastern corner of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
If you go from Portland and head northwest from Portland, because Portland isn't actually on the coast.
No.
It's about a 90-minute drive out if you're going pretty fast. You might get a ticket like I did coming back from Tillamook after. So you can go up to Astoria, down to Tillamook, and back to Portland. And you can do a triangle. There's pretty direct ways to do that. But it's where Goonies was filmed, the 1980s movie with the little kid adventure.
Yep.
Great little town. Great clam chowder in Astoria.
We got clam chowder up here in Seattle. What are you talking? We got Ivers.
Yeah, I went to Ivers when I was there. I pigged out, man. I had clam chowder, fish and chips.
Dude, back in the day, you would say you wanted fish, and they would turn around, batter the fish right in front of you, and fry it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was my buddy had a son, right? And he used to always take his kid to fish places because he was always trying to feed his kids some fish because brain food and whatnot. So they always go to fish places, and he asked him about the one place. Hey, did you like the fish place we went yesterday? And he's like, no, I don't want to go back. This kid's 5 years old. And they're like, why don't you want to go back? They didn't have root beer. Totally lost every chance you had because you didn't have root beer. Just saying.
Wow. Cardinal sin.
Whoa. This is also the same young man who says, I have this many girlfriends, right? And I explained to him, well, there's only this many days in the week. So this many days of the week, you're going to have to see 2 of them, right? how are you going to get that done? He says, no, I got a plan. I said, what's your plan? He says, I'm going to make them all friends.
His harem.
5 years old.
Damn. He's a pimp.
Make them all friends.
He's a pimp. McNiner says, I have a lot of family in Washington State. They tell me Seattle is a dump. I'll tell you, when I was there for Mother's Day, there was a little bit of homeless there, but nothing like San Francisco, I would say. But then again, there's a whole city there, though, right? Like, or a whole enclave, like a whole place of where, like, there's a high.
Where at?
In Seattle. Don't they have like a massive encampment that's like a couple blocks by couple blocks or something?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't go down
most
there
of
a
the
lot.
city is pretty good, I would say, compared to San Francisco.
There's
We
an
were
issue down there.
we were pretty impressed with Seattle coming from San Francisco.
You guys were impressed?
Yeah. No, I mean, with the homeless situation, there was a lot less homeless there for sure. It was a lot less in your face. I have a huge granite countertop and preheat it to 500 and then turn down to 400 for 20 minutes. I only use the sauce and marinara. I use fresh mozzarella. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Dang, Randy's sounds good. Because Bash was asking if he had a pizza stone. Let's see here. Here he goes. Blue Line pizza line was super long. Ones that I never tried. Yeah, see, the nice thing about the gold mine is when they turn you loose at 11, there's like literally nobody in the place. So like you can go wherever you want and get whatever you want to eat with 0 line. That's how I was able to go to 3 places. I would never have sat in 3 lines. Probably been better for me if there had been some lines. I probably would have skipped that third option. But yeah. Luckily I got there early. Depends on where you get your tortas from. Some places are good. Others, yeah, sure. I mean, I think just like tacos, right? I mean, some
Also
places
the time of the day. So if you're getting carne asada, tortas right when they open, it's probably some of the carne asada from last night.
Oh, damn. Bebop says Mexican burger. Bebop. No, it's more of it's a sando, man. There's no hamburger patty.
There's no rules in this. It's a torta.
It's a torta. Don't piss Ryan off, man. Just
I
gotta
love me a good torta,
pizza.
bro. Love me a good torta.
Ryan likes tortas.
That's right.
Ryan gusta tortas. Yeah, you were saying the stove must be using a frying pan. Oh, steak torta or carnitas. Oh, okay, steak torta. I guess that is kind of like a burger almost. If it's carne asada, CPK is whatever. Yeah, me too. Because Round Table has good pepperoni.
Yeah,
and my son,
real pepperoni.
And my son, like all little kids, they all eat cheese pizza. But now I got him. He likes olive, so I got him. He'll eat black olive pizza. We tried ordering olive from another place, but they gave us those calamatas, which I really like. But it was too salty. He couldn't. He wanted the black olives.
Smart man.
But I just figure it's like baby steps, right? You get him eating the olives, and next thing you know, he's trying some other topping, and then he's like, "Oh, pepperoni. Yeah, it's not so spicy." Boom.
I don't like red sauce. I don't like marinara. It's too acidic for me.
Sure. Yeah, it can be.
It's just too acidic for me. So I just like white pizza. Back in the day, when everybody was having spaghetti, I was having butter, garlic, salt, and Parmesan on my spaghetti. There was no sauce. It was just
butter and parm is pretty normal for little kids, but the garlic spruces it up for sure.
All on there. Bang. My daughter likes garlic too.
I love garlic for sure,
Yep.
but I do prefer it where it's already been slow roasted before you put it on the pizza, like how they do it at Michi's. At North Beach Pizza in the city, like when you order garlic, they chop up a clove and they put it on there as the pizza goes in. The pizza cooks quickly, and then the garlic is just like it's maybe seared on the edges, but it's not like it's still crunchy. And I'm not a big crunchy garlic guy.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you want it to be smooshy.
Well, if you bake it in oil in like a ceramic tin.
Yeah, like how you do with a
confit.
with a Cambozola cheese and the baked garlic. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Your body had a son. What happened to his son? Not sure what that is. I mean,
your buddy had a son. What happened to his son? Oh no, he still got his son. His son's growing up. He's probably 18, running around slaying all those chicks he was talking about. Hopefully.
Nice. There you go. I've had amazing pizza since I was a kid, so I needed to expand. There you go. I don't do. Oh, Bash, you don't do a root beer float, dude?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, buddy. Sheesh. Oh,
Bash,
we gotta
bro.
talk. We gotta talk, man.
What about sarsaparilla? Sarsaparilla.
I would never. Tech ruins cities. Sacramento is next. It's definitely true that tech. It's changed the Bay Area. I don't know if it's ruined it, but it's not the same as when I grew up here. That's for damn sure. It's just a lot of money. Money. Already looking to move. There you go. Randy, where are you looking? Bash was at the gold mine too. Yeah, he was there for the Giants home opener, along with Bryant Culp and others. Jess, Ty was there again this time. Ty was there with me and John Chapman and John Chapman's buddy, and then there was like 36 Brits. It was supposed to be Breezy, but Breezy, he lives on the East Coast. I don't think he could make it out, unfortunately. But yeah. Blue line, if you're looking at the stadium from the press box, if you just kind of go straight up from the end zone, of the left end zone as you watch it on TV, and then just head south, like straight into the concourse there. It's like, the stadium curves around and right kind of where it straightens out on the backside away from the press boxes. So about a quarter of the way around the stadium from the press boxes. Oh, is it from San Jose? Because I thought it started in the city and then it went to San Mateo and then maybe to San Jose. But you would know better. Bash is a pizza guy, so he probably knows. I could have sworn it was, but maybe it was San Jose, SF, then San Mateo. Maybe that was the order. Uh-oh. Oh geez, it's like 5:15. I don't know how I got to go this long, but here we go.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for showing out today. I'm sure he'll do that here in a second too. But
yeah, thanks everyone.
You guys are wonderful.
Appreciate it. And sorry we went on a food tangent, but as you can see, we need to do some TED Talks grub shows too. There's definitely
Tuesday.
Like, not everybody's a football fan, especially not everybody's a Niner fan, but everybody eats. Turns out. And my recommendations tend to be stone cold locks. If you like what I'm talking about, you're gonna like what I'm talking about. Just ask Gina and Paul Hope. They loved Coswell's today. So great burger.
All right.
Well, Ryan, thank you, my friend, as always.
Yeah, let's go get these birds. Let's eat some turkey.
Eat some turkey. And your turn to host next week.
Yep.
And thanks everybody who showed up. The audience participation was lit. You guys were great as always. And I'll just say peace and go Niners.